In the past, the Environment Agency 20 years ago used to be all about flood defence, and we've seen over the last 20 years we've moved to risk management, which means we want to use lots of different techniques to help protect people and their properties and their businesses from the impacts of flooding. And adaptation is really key. It's about finding a wide range of different solutions to help protect people from flooding. That can involve using nature, restoring habitats, it can involve traditional forms of engineering, and it can involve helping people to set up property level flood resilience measures.
What's really interesting about this PACCo project is it partners this site in the Lower Otter with another site in France, the Sand Valley, which is just south of Dieppe, that has similar problems. It has a similar valley that's heavily modified. We here have a cricket club that is frequently flooded and needs to be relocated. They have a campsite that is flooded on a regular basis, and this campsite is a very important part of their local economy. It's about 40% of the income.
This year we had a very early flood almost immediately after the season ending in 2021. It's not just the pitch was covered, but the clubhouse itself was flooded all the way to the rafters. All our kit got destroyed that was in. We hadn't even cleared the club out properly for the start of the winter. So it's challenging, and it's become more challenging.
Part of the aim of PACCo is to demonstrate that it's better to adapt early to the impacts of climate change rather than waiting for things to break and then trying to deal with that once they have already failed. The solution that we've come up with is actually to return that area behind the embankment back to being a much more natural estuary.
La basse vallée de la Sanne est un ensemble de zones humides où on retrouve des zones d'eau continentale, d'eau douce, avec son cortège de floristique et faunistique, et aussi des milieux estuariens d'eau saumâtre où on retrouve des espèces qui aiment le sel. Les zones humides ont un rôle essentiel dans les écosystèmes, un rôle épuratoire des eaux de surface et un rôle de réservoir biologique, dans le sens où on a une multitude d'espèces floristiques et faunistiques qui y vivent. Aujourd'hui, la Sanne doit franchir un épibuse qui est sous-dimensionné. Demain, nous aurons une ouverture de 10 mètres à la mer qui rendra le fonctionnement hydraulique plus aisé.
One of the biggest challenges that we've had at the outset of the project was working alongside protected species. So we have cleared a lot of the vegetation on this site under a dormouse licence, which has meant that 55 hectares of vegetation has had to be fingertip searched by a small army of ecologists. One of the things about the site that has been really important to us, and we know it's important to stakeholders, is to make sure that we retain public access to the site. We are undertaking works to make sure that some of those footpaths are raised, and there will also be surfacing improvements undertaken as part of that.
The solution to the problems we're having is to move the club as part of the overall flooding of the estuary. One of the upsides of the move is that we will have a significant upgrade in facility, which financially is critical for us as a club to help bring play to a wider swathe of the community, and particularly to access parts of the community, women, disability cricket, that traditionally we haven't supported.
Il y a une boucle de randonnée qui passe juste devant la station d'épuration, et donc il y aura un but aussi éducatif pour les enfants qui pourront du territoire, qui voudront venir visiter, et un rôle pédagogique parce qu'on pourra justement expliquer à quoi sert une station d'épuration.
So when the scheme's completed, the landscape aesthetic will be very different to what it is now. At the moment you have largely a pastoral landscape which is kind of green with a few hedgerows and some trees. Afterwards, it'll have no more hedgerows and trees, they'll be taken out, and it'll be much more kind of open views up the valley. And the actual kind of, the aesthetic will be more estuarine in nature, so it'll be more kind of browner, there'll be more mud, and there'll be more salt marsh.
Et je crois que c'est important aujourd'hui, et c'est le rôle du syndicat, que de sensibiliser la population à au nécessaire changement d'habitude et de toujours se situer dans une démarche résiliente. Je crois que il est vain de lutter contre les submersions marines ou dans le cadre du réchauffement climatique. Iberville est un exemple de prise en compte de la résilience dont on doit faire preuve aujourd'hui.